After 9 long years, Vijay Mallya, who was also known as the King of Good Times, broke his silence in a 4-hour long podcast where he clarified his position on several issues. He claimed that he had no intention of defrauding the banks and was ready to repay the loans. Moreover, he said that he was not a chore or a villain in the story, rather, he was a victim. But is Vijay Mallya's case just an issue of repaying of the loans? In this week's In Public Interest, I caught up with C.H. Venkatachalam, General Secretary of All India Bank Employees Association, who was at the forefront of protesting against Vijay Mallya back then. But before I go across to him, I need to pause here for a moment. In Public Interest is a new show on the News Minute where I, along with my colleagues, will bring you stories from across South India. Do write to us if you want a particular issue to be discussed or a story to be covered from your city or from your state. Remember, In Public Interest is truly in your interest, the audience who is sponsoring it, and not a political party or a corporate entity. Scan this QR code or click the link in the description to become a paid subscriber of the News Minute or to contribute to our reporting fund. Can you tell us what exactly is your impression after watching Vijay Mallya's 4-hour long interview?
Yeah, see, the first impression I get is that he is trying to cover up, to maybe build a narrative here in India for the people that I am good, I am not that bad. Many people have already cheated and I am not like that, I am not sure. It's only a small default and so I want to repay, and it is only the government or the bank which are not accepting. Like that he is trying to pretend to be so innocent, but that's not the case. He should have been arrested long back. That has not happened. That is our in view. So maybe he's trying to just build up a case, or maybe at government level they want some repairing to be done so that it can be considered. I don't know. But it doesn't look as simple as it appears to be.
So when you say that it is not as simple as it appears to be, what exactly do you mean? What exactly has Vijay Mallya done in terms of getting loans from banks and then not repaying it?
Yeah. See, one thing is what happened and what he's trying to do now. Two parts now.
Yeah.
What happened is that he took loan from different banks, and people taking loan in the name of big business, industry, projects, and then not able to repay, and that becomes NPA or what we call bad loans, and now this is going to the insolvency, bankruptcy code, and they get some concession, somebody is buying. This is normal. So he's not the only solitary case of bank loan default. That's not a thing. Secondly, this amount is also comparatively not so big, enormous, threatening. It's a big amount for 4,000 crores and all. Now with interest, it's more. There have been 40,000 crores, 80,000 crores, Videocon, so many things. But the point is that it is not a simple default. Number one, there are evidences, reports that he tried to manipulate or misuse, because the end use is very important. And not only he did not use it for that purpose, he tried some foreign exchange cases have come under this money laundering case. That's how it came out with IDBI Bank that came one part of the loan. Other banks have also given. So there is some criminality involved, number one. Number two, when the cases were coming up, he suddenly ran away and then he went to UK. He should have been here, faced the trouble, and then explain nothing has happened. What he has spoken in this latest one, he could have told on that day why he kept quiet, why he ran away. So that's not that simple. Why he is doing now, it's maybe a cover-up, because see, as you said that we have published a list of defaulters, not now. We have
Long
been
back.
doing that. Periodically we have been doing big loan defaulters we are doing. And recently we have also publicized that how the what you call IBC, Insolvency Bankruptcy Code, the present government said it is a mechanism to pressurize and threaten the defaulters, borrowers. They'll be afraid of bankruptcy, etc., so they will come and repay. But that has not happened. Now people are standing in queue. Sir, please declare me under IBC like that. That means that's a route to escape, and that exactly has happened. Those who are declared as defaulters, they go to that NCLT, National that Tribunal, and under this rule, IBC, and then after that somebody comes and gives an offer, okay, 40,000 crores loan, okay, I'll buy it for 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, whatever, this one, and that is ordered, and then that other person purchases and this man is scot free. So it's going on. This we had also published, how in different cases, now that is called haircut, how much haircut banks are suffering. So in fact, he had put my document from AIBEA had released some 12, 13 cases where 60%, 70%, 40% haircut was given, concession was given. He had quoted it. See, this is AIBEA's own document. That means they have been given much more concession. In my case, I am prepared to pay the full amount. And still they are not accepting, and they portray me as a big villain, chore, like that. He is trying to use my own document. My document is in a different context. But Mallya continues to be a defaulter, not only defaulter, willful defaulter, because he has the capacity to pay, he has the money to pay, he did not pay. Thirdly, there is a criminality, because the reports are that he misused, this money laundering cases have come. So it is not that simple, it is very complicated. And he knows if he comes here, he will be arrested, he will be in jail and all. He wants to avoid that. That's why he's sitting there and talking. Let him come to India. In fact, at that time, AIBA we demanded that his passport should be impounded, he should be immediately arrested, and he should be brought to India and put on trial. So I don't know why government is keeping quiet. The government now they say they are going throughout the world and then to justify about the Pahalgam and all that. It's okay, we welcome that. And the claim is that our government today under Prime Minister, it has wide acceptance, popularity, reputation, so many things. So why they cannot put in a word to British government and bring him here?
No, the process of getting him back, the proceedings regarding his extradition is still on.
No, that's why.
Yeah.
But it is not that complicated. It should take more than a decade. How long he will be there, we do not know. So he must be brought here, put on trial. If he is innocent, then he will be free.
Now, specifically in this interview, Mallya says that his intention was not to cheat the banks. His intention was not to defraud the banks. In fact, he made several proposals to the banks to accept, a deal, but the banks refused. The banks did not want to take any kind of risk. They never accepted his proposals. So, which means that what he claims is that he was made a villain in all of this.
That's how he is trying to make out a case. But here the point is, it is not that that he offered and all. See, why you should offer? The simple thing is, suppose somebody has taken 10,000 crores of loan, and if that is covered by collateral and assets of 15,000 crores, why to give concession? The concession will come where by selling the assets that are pledged to the mortgage to the bank, if that is going to become only 3,000 crores, if somebody is willing to give 4,000, we'll accept it, okay, even though it's a loss. In his case, he is the number one personal guarantor. Number two, he has got a group. So he is only talking, Kingfisher is in loss, so you talk about Kingfisher. Secondly, Kingfisher has taken the loan, I have not taken the loan. Magnanimously I have given a guarantee, but why loan was given to him? Because it is Mallya's company, and Mallya is a chairman of the entire UB group. So this is one thing, in fact, we are highlighting that willful defaulters, what they say, that even though they are assets other than that, the case is only on that company. The suit is on the company. That company has defaulted, so company has to be proceeded with. Whereas we are telling the loan is given because of the individual behind it. If Nirav Modi has taken the loan, it is not because of his that diamond company, it is because of Modi. Or if Videocon company or any big defaulter, the person who is behind it, if tomorrow Ambani will come and ask for a loan, it is not the audited balance sheet that count, it is Ambani that count, it is Adani that count. Similarly here, he counted, and at that time banks were asked to give loan on the brand value of Kingfisher, some 4,000 crores, so that is no value. Mallya is the value, and Mallya has a company, even today, flourishing business. So why you could not repay? if I have taken a loan, then I have to repay. He didn't do that. He was going on arguing that I have not done anything, I have not done anything. That is not acceptable.
Okay. In this case, Mallya says that, the entire amount that he has to repay is 6,203 crores,
including
according to the Debt Recovery Tribunal.
Yeah.
And what has been recovered from him is 14,000 crores.
Yeah.
So even the finance minister has made a public statement
In
on
the
the floor of
parliament.
the house in the parliament.
True.
So what exactly is this about? Like, he says that I have paid more money.
No, he has not paid.
He has given more money.
No, he has not given any single paise. He had given that bungalow, villa to the bank.
His assets.
So because it is not coming, now the banks can invoke, and then they have sold it, and that money has come, that has come to the banks. Tomorrow, if the case, the legal proceedings are finalized, and suppose they say that this is the amount that he has to pay, crystallize, then balance amount will be given to him. Now the case is not over. He says, I am ready to give, I am ready to give. That is not your option. You have done something criminal. That is not settled. Let him face a trial. Then we will see. 14,000, no, we can repay the entire amount if he is innocent. So money, because the realizable value of that bungalow, that has come to the banks. That always it is so. Suppose I pledge a house worth about 10 crores and I take a loan for say only 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, whatever small amount. Then I don't repay, then banks will sell that property and that money will come to the bank. And in the normal course will refund, but here there is a pending case. Criminal case is pending, so why bank will give it? That is the issue. He should come here and then face the trial, prove he is innocent. This is not the only point, that money laundering is very important.
Okay. So before going to money laundering, the case as far as Vijay Mallya tries to portray is that he got loans. He didn't get loans. In fact, the companies got loans. He had pledged these companies, certain other companies as collateral, and he was unable to, repay the loans. And that is how simple he is trying to portray it. The issue is the multiple agencies has investigated this matter. And they have all found that there is some criminal conspiracy, there is some criminality involved. So it's not just a case of somebody taking loans and not paying back. A criminality is also involved.
Very much. That was money laundering.
Bank officers were arrested in this case.
Yes, because it's a money laundering. No? Even that AIBEA chairman at that time, Mr. Agarwal, he was also involved because out of the way that was done. The loan that was given has been shifted to foreign country where it was given for Kingfisher Airlines in India. How the money has gone out? So that is under investigation. That he has to prove. It is not that simple, I have taken money, I will give you, leave me. It's not that simple. He is not innocent at all. Maybe he is trying to make out a case politically, it is victimization, many other people. Suppose some big thief is free, doesn't mean the small thief is to be set free. His case is an independent case and he cannot simply escape like that. He has to come to India, face the trial. Why he is afraid? That is the issue.
Mallya also blames the banks, saying that, when the crisis was unfolding, he was unable to pay salaries of the Kingfisher employees. In fact, they were protesting. And that's because the banks had frozen his accounts. They had frozen the cash that he was supposed to pay to those people.
True.
So, then there is the ED and the banks are to be blamed for all this crisis?
No. Because the ED had some prima facie case to proceed against him. So that's why they have frozen everything. Bank, we are holding the money on the account of the customer. But if some government agency will come and tell, no, you put on hold, we have no, other way. Maybe it is true that his employees were not paid and that is morally correct, everything. But bank cannot pay the money because I have a notice from the ED. ED says, no, we have some criminal complaints, so all his assets are to be frozen. That is over. How banks will come in the picture? If ED is vindictive, it is for him to take up the matter. So banks are not to be blamed. Banks have given him money all the time. In fact, banks have to be blamed only because they have been little lenient. Because on the strength of this 4,000 crores worth of his the Kingfisher brand, because maybe because it's coming up, so they wanted to give. But now he cannot escape saying that banks have prevented. He could have taken loan from his own other group companies and paid the salary. He is not trying to blame the people.
So he was not in a position to pay salaries, is what he says, because
Yes, yes.
his entire cash
yeah.
was frozen.
That's true. But outside the country, he had paid for all other people. Foreign employees were paid. Here he deliberately chose not to pay, quoting this. He could have managed. No? He's such a big guy.
That's because Indian laws were lenient and he can get away with it. Maybe that was the idea.
No, he has taken for granted, that's all. Because in poor workers, somebody will curse and go, or somebody will die, somebody will commit suicide, somebody will get an alternative job. Like that it happened, not only with Mallya. Many places, factories, the owner doesn't pay and it fizzles out. Like that we have seen. He can't blame the banks. Banks are bound to obey the EDs or CBI or any government enforcement agency. We have to freeze. When we have to freeze the account? So many accounts are frozen. Not only on this, maybe some court case, litigation. They will say you freeze the account. Matter is over. Debit freeze. We cannot allow. But he has a moral duty to pay salary. He could have made some other arrangement. He's such a big fellow. He knows. He didn't want to. He wanted to blame the banks, and he did like that. Banks are in no way responsible. He is the author of the whole problem, and he has to face the consequences. He can't simply get away.
So you mentioned the Kingfisher brand that was pledged. The valuation was somewhere around some 3,000 crores.
Yeah, correct.
Is it even legit to accept brands as collateral and give loans? Like the fault is on the side of the banks as well, right?
No, see, banks, we have the what you call development finance. When the government feel that certain sectors have to be developed, maybe sometime coal, maybe sometime infrastructure, maybe cement, maybe port, maybe airport, maybe aviation. It depends. The government will decide which is the priority. And this was required, aviation. So they wanted some people investment. And he was coming up. Okay. And so naturally banks had to give. So beside that, this was another one, some valuation. But actually it is not proper. Brand value has no meaning. What is that brand today? What is the Kingfisher brand?
No, there were no takers for that brand. In fact, they put up for sale. There were no takers for that brand.
Exactly. So these are all notional. To sanction the loan, they have taken that. That's all. Otherwise, the purpose is to give him loan. Had he repaid the thing, all these things would not have come up. So banks have to give, not only in this case, in many other cases also, banks are giving for development. Unless government banks give loan, how the country will develop?
But the question is, when banks ask 101 questions to a common man and you give corporate loans despite knowing that Kingfisher brand is an intangible asset.
Yeah.
It's an intangible asset.
Yeah, right.
So based on that, you have given loans. So where is the due diligence is the question.
This you can say this is a type of dichotomy for agriculture loan or education loan or housing loan, for a consumer loan, vehicle loan. All we are very strict. But here, this is a wider role expected of a nationalized bank, because we are implementing the government policy. So when the government policy says this sector has to be implemented, so naturally all banks will fall in line because it's our duty.
Banks has to be generous.
Otherwise the country cannot develop. In fact, my point is that in India, the bank debt GDP ratio is much less. It's about 47-48%. It should be 80, 90, more than 100. If India has to grow faster, then loan is very important. Loan, we should give more loan, but how we give, how we recover the loan, this is very important. And particularly the project finance, development finance, there cannot be a collateral. If somebody says, I want to build a big infrastructure, say 40,000 crores, 50,000 crores, banks have to give. In that only that company's name will be there. If suppose tomorrow Adani says, Ambani says, banks have to believe. Because everybody knows Tata, Birla, they are all big people. Like that, he is another man, big group. So they believed. So on paper, they have to say something, so they would have taken. Otherwise, it is only a notional asset. It is not tangible at all. We can't do anything. And that is proved now. That is proved. Many times banks are giving loan on the strength of their shares. But share, it's a fluctuating thing.
The value can go down.
Any time.
And in this case, it has happened.
Yeah, exactly. But that risk banks have to take. But the point is, in such big things, it is not comparable. If somebody is taking a housing loan, the house will be mortgaged. If he doesn't pay, the house can be sold. That's simple. Whereas, what can you do with this man, 4,000 crores? We can't sell Malia, we can't do anything. That's why even the laws have to be amended. Laws have to be amended. Anyway, that's a big issue. But main point is banks have no other option than to support the infrastructure development and the projects because banks, particularly government banks, are to be fine-tuned with the total overall economic things that are going on because the country has to go forward, economy has to grow, and banks have a role.
So now after this podcast, Vijay Mallya is getting a lot of support. People say that Vijay Mallya was, he was made to look like a villain. He was portrayed as a villain because of political reasons. Harsh Goenka, who's an industrialist, he has come out openly in support of Vijay Mallya, says that Vijay Mallya has paid his dues. Money has been recovered from him, but still he's being attacked. Still, the agencies are going after him. Whereas some other industrialists who are really big and they are walking away with huge amounts of money and
Concession.
a huge amount of concessions.
Yeah. No, that's why. See, this, you should not lose the point that it is not only loan and not repayment, now he has paid and so he is okay. What about that money laundering? He has misused the money. He has to answer. So let him come and say, I have not done it. Let him prove. that he is
Loans
innocent.
given for a specific purpose
Yes.
were used for something.
Yes. There are reports that he took loans of 900 crores in IDBI and in connivance. The bank also maybe that she connived and then that money was transferred out. That's the thing. It is coming under money laundering. So banks are not involved. So banks have to wait for that. So let him come and face. That's why repeatedly we are telling. Why he is sitting in UK and then giving all the interview? Let him come. Let him face. He is afraid. He is not a simple man. Definitely the allegation is criminal. He has to come out of that. That Goenka, anybody, let them bring the best of lawyer and then they can argue for him. We have no problem. Their support has no meaning. They should have done at that time that why all these things are happening. We know the corporate world, so many things are coming out. We have seen, even in the case of ICICI Bank, we have seen, anyway, I don't want to divert. Point is that corporate world is not a very pure world. All types of things. And he says political victimization, bound to be there. You have taken the route. Why you are so close to the political circle? At that time it suited you. He was taking all the people in his flight free to World Cup match, this match, that match. So everything was fine. Now when things are against you, why do you blame the political system? Indian political system is there all through.
And also,
They want to be there.
one important thing he says in his interview is that before leaving for abroad, he met Finance Minister, the then Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, and told him that he is going away.
Yes.
And he had made certain proposals to the banks and asked the banks to accept whatever proposals are required.
Yeah.
So, do you think that Malya's exit from the country happened with the knowledge of the government?
No, as it appears to be, because he's openly telling.
Now those questions have to be answered by the government?
And then Finance Minister did not refute it. Because he says, I met him one day before, I explained to him, then I went. But then after that, why they look out, all those things came. But there was a gap. He went, there was no, rebuttal. Why he met and what happened between him and the then Finance Minister. But later immediately, lookout notice was given. Then it was withdrawn, all types of things. So there is something fishy. I'm not denying that, but what it is, we do not know. What happened exactly in the cabin between him and the FM, we do not know. That might have happened. That's quite possible in India. And there is an excess between corporate and the political circle that is happening. But he is part of that. He cannot today simply say, no, I am innocent, I am not there. They have done it. He enjoyed it. So he has to pay the price if he is in trouble.
So there is also one more loan that people are talking about. It's the Anil Ambani's 49,000 crores.
Yeah.
And he got away with a concession of some 400 crores.
Yeah.
So how does this happen?
No, see, that's finance telecommunication. All the bailouts In the world it is happening, in India also it is happening. Even in America, bailout, it's happening here also for Vodafone, for him, for many other things. Otherwise the country's economy will be in trouble. So the government is aware of that and they are doing that. So it is not pure banking transaction that I give the loan and they are not repaying. Government is involved. So government is answerable. In public interest or in nation's interest or for this reason this has been done. But everybody knows that these are all pure, political adjustments. We have seen even in electoral bond we have seen who are given, whether ordinary people are given loan, all, contribution, all big people, and the list has come out. And it's also coming out that I got a favor and so he has done. So this is known, the nexus is known to everybody. What exactly it is, with whom it is, that is the only issue. So many political parties have received the money in the election, electoral bond. So here also, it's like that. People, they cannot simply say, common people I am talking, that's something. The government will have to take a decision because some project may fail and so the money will not come. So, but that's why if it is genuine, it is acceptable. But normally there is an excess and these people get away. And some people are getting caught, so it is their quarrel. But for the common people, for the banks, it is public.
Whose money is it?
Exactly. People keep their money savings. Ambani, Adani, Kingfisher, Mallya, they have not kept their money in the banks. They keep the money elsewhere, I don't know. But the entire money is belonging to the common people. So it's the people's money. So number one, there has to be a safety for the people's money. Fortunately, because the banks are sovereign banks and government is backing up, so there is no risk. Otherwise, if such huge losses being booked, the banks will break.
Collapse.
Then it has happened earlier, private banks. Now Yes Bank we have seen, it collapsed because of wrong handling. Somehow now LIC, FBI have come and they have now somehow from this deathbed it has come out, that's okay. But this is how it will happen because we are in the system. Banking is economics, economics is politics. It's simple. So there will be always some balance, imbalance, some and excess will be there. But as a trade union, as All India Bank Employees Association, my point is we are a democratic country. So there must be some democratic content in whatever we do. Simple point is the money belongs to the people for them safety. So this 270 lakh crores of total bank deposit is completely people's money. So safety, where the money is safe, number one, ownership. I am not against private industry or private ownership, private capitalist, private banks, etc. But when country's money, people's money is involved, the safety by experience we find it is in the government banks because there is a sovereign backup. Second, India even today is a developing country. We cannot say we are fully developed. We are backward in many things. In agriculture, we are still to grow. We have to become modernized, and we have seen rural areas are still to develop, women empowerment and education, health, infrastructure, industry, all these things we are still developing. So for development, banks have to give loan. So there must be a proper orientation to the credit policy. So bank credit policy should be linked to the overall economic agenda of the government. Earlier we had the 5-year plan and so they had some projects so the banks can tune themselves. Now it is ad hoc because there is no such
Case by case.
case by case it goes and it goes by individual. Now we are finding Adani. We have nothing against him. He is entitled to do business. It's okay. But how there is so much accumulation. Banks, for example, IBC, like this Mallya's account, many other accounts, they are being sold. And I know at least on 12, 13 accounts, the total outstanding in the loan is about 65,000 crores. And that has been sold to, that has been purchased. Banks have sold and he has purchased, Adani has purchased for some 16,000 crores. That means about 75% haircut for the banks. And banks haircut mean it is going drained from the profit of the banks. See, for example, last year, the total profits were about 2,40,000 crores. And the net profit is 1,10,000 crores. That means 1,30,000 crores has gone to provide for bad loans. It is not some ordinary people who have taken small loans and that is being adjusted. All corporate loans. So the people money is in the banks, with that the banks are doing business, with that they are earning revenue, and that revenue makes into profit. That profit is now squandered for providing the provision for the bad loans of the corporate people. So what is the robbing Peter and paying Paul? So this is what is expected in the constitution. This will create more and more imbalance, inequity, divide, and this will create social tension. So it's another problem. So government must be conscious. Simply banks are making profit, banks will make profit. It's a simple business. I take a deposit from you for 7% and I give loan for 12%, 13%. Any fool will say banking is very profitable, insurance is very profitable. That's not an issue. Safety number one, utility, which we have to give. That's a practice sector. Now this government says, no, bank is a commercial activity, anybody can do. But their intention will be different. Same private bank will not give to Mallya, because for them, developing aviation industry is not their agenda, it is government agenda. So government banks are giving. They'll be prudent. There will be scam in private banks for their own reasons. I'm not saying that. But these type of things, project loans, are all completely done by government bank because we are bound by the government's policy to develop infrastructure, to push the economy forward. That's why this happens.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for talking to us.
So nice. Thank you. All the best.